Rare alien ship discovered at auction. Can I save it before it's destroyed? The air in the auction hall was thick with tension and wealth. Crystal chandeliers reflected 1,000 tiny sparks onto the polished floors. Collectors from across the galaxy, their eyes glinting with greed and curiosity, examined rare alien artifacts displayed under glass cases. Some were small, alien trinkets, gemstones, or devices barely bigger than a human fist. Others were massive, clearly meant for interstellar travel, and yet so delicate it seemed one wrong touch could crumble them to dust. Alex Rayner stood near the back, trying not to draw attention. He wore a simple gray jacket, with reinforced pockets holding tools, scanners, and a datapad. Unlike the other attendees, Alex wasn't here to impress or outbid anyone with wealth. He had something else in mind: understanding, saving, and perhaps learning from a piece of alien technology no human had seen before. Alex's eyes wandered across the room, scanning every display. Then, tucked behind a stack of metallic crates near the far wall, he noticed it: a small, compact ship. Its surface was smooth and dark, almost like liquid metal, reflecting shapes and lights in a way that felt alive. It wasn't displayed prominently, and there were no barriers, no alarms, just a tag that read "Alien Ship, Decommissioned." Something inside Alex's chest tightened. He had seen alien ships before, yes, but never like this. Its design was unlike anything in the human databases. No visible engines, no wings, no wheels. Just curves and angles that seemed almost organic. A low hum radiated from it, vibrating subtly through the floor and into his shoes. Alex felt it more than he heard it. He took a cautious step closer. A woman in a sharply tailored suit noticed his gaze and smiled, sharp and predatory. "That one's already spoken for," she said smoothly. "Private collector, big money, you won't win it." Alex shook his head. "I'm not here to buy it," he said quietly. "I just want to examine it." Her smile faltered. "Examine? This is a decommissioned alien ship. Dangerous. You don't want it." Alex ignored her. He knelt down and ran a scanner over the hull. The readout blinked furiously. Energy signatures that shouldn't exist, alloys that defied human physics, and systems that were alive. Alive. The scanner couldn't even identify the materials. Before he could take another reading, the auctioneer's voice boomed through the hall. "Next item, the final lot for tonight, Alien Ship Act 7. Will the bidding begin?" Alex froze. That was it. That was the ship. He looked around. A dozen wealthy collectors immediately raised their paddles. Their numbers were astronomical, and Alex knew he could never outbid them. He didn't have the money, and even if he did, he couldn't risk letting the ship fall into corporate hands. They would tear it apart for parts or profit, ignoring any scientific value. Alex's mind raced. There had to be another way. As the bidding climbed higher, Alex noticed something odd. The ship vibrated subtly, almost in response to the voices around it. The more aggressive the bidding became, the more the hum deepened. A quiet thought formed in Alex's mind. This ship was reactive. Perhaps it could sense intent or emotion. The auctioneer's hammer came down, signaling a temporary pause. "Lot Act 7 is still open for serious bids," he announced, eyes scanning the room for the next offer. "But remember, this ship is scheduled for decommissioning. If no qualified buyer claims it, it will be destroyed. Immediate destruction, no exceptions." Alex's stomach dropped. Destroyed? They couldn't destroy it, not like this. Not when humanity might never see anything like it again. He stepped back, thinking. He didn't have money, influence, or security clearance. What he had was ingenuity. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. He noticed a maintenance door at the back of the hall, partially hidden behind a giant display of alien sculptures. A small transport crew was moving equipment through it. Alex's mind raced. If he could access the ship through the back, perhaps he could remove it before the destruction order was executed. It wouldn't be easy. Corporate security, sensors, cameras, and alarms were everywhere, but Alex had pulled off worse. He took out his datapad and began tapping furiously. He sent a discreet message to Mara, a hacker and old friend who owed him a favor. Act 7. Urgent. Auction. Help needed. Can you get in remotely? Almost immediately, a reply blinked back. On it. You better not get caught. Alex glanced back at the auction floor. The bidding resumed. Numbers climbed faster than his mind could calculate. Each paddle slam made the ship's hum grow louder, almost like a heartbeat. Alex realized something else. The ship wasn't just reacting, it was communicating. Subtle pulses, vibrations, a rhythm he could barely perceive. He knelt again, pressing a hand against the hull. The hum intensified. A faint light glowed along the curves of the ship, tracing patterns that were both beautiful and confusing. Alex felt a shiver run down his spine. "It's alive," he whispered, "and it's aware." The auctioneer noticed him leaning too close. "Step away from the lot, sir. Hands off." Alex pulled back, heart racing. He needed a plan. He couldn't bid, he couldn't fight the bidders. The only option was stealth and timing. Mara's voice came through his earpiece, low and urgent. "I've disabled the internal cameras and sensors for 5 minutes. That's all the window you've got. Move fast." Alex exhaled sharply. 5 minutes. That was nothing. But for humans, nothing was often enough if they thought creatively. He slipped toward the maintenance door. 2 security guards were checking crates nearby. Alex froze, then noticed a pile of equipment cases. He darted behind them, holding his breath. The guards moved on. Step by step, he crept through the door, careful not to trigger any motion sensors Mara couldn't cover. Inside, the hallway smelled of metal and ozone. Alex's heart pounded. He could hear faint thumps from the auction hall, distant shouts, the sliding of crates. Ahead, the ship waited, glowing softly in the dim light. He reached it. Carefully, he pressed his scanner against the hull again. The energy readings went off the charts. Systems hum in response to his touch, almost as if the ship recognized him. Alex whispered, "I won't let them destroy you. I promise." A faint vibration ran through the floor and the light along the hull pulsed. Alex's eyes widened. This ship wasn't just reactive. It was alive, intelligent even, responding to human intent. A sudden shout echoed from the auction hall. Someone had noticed movement. Alex had no time to second guess. He activated a small anti-gravity module he had smuggled with him, designed for moving heavy equipment in tight spaces. The ship hovered slightly, as if curious. Alex guided it down the hallway, keeping it low, moving as quickly and quietly as possible. The hum shifted, a low tone almost like laughter. Alex couldn't be sure, but it gave him courage. Humans were often underestimated. We were fragile, emotional, reckless, but we were also clever, resourceful, and unpredictable. And this ship, it might just be human enough to recognize that. Alarms began to sound in the distance. Security teams were converging. Alex glanced back. He had to make it to the emergency exit, where a transport van waited, Mara at the controls, ready to guide him out. "Almost there," he muttered. The ship's lights flickered in response, pulsing in a rhythm he now recognized as encouragement. He smiled, a mix of fear and exhilaration. Humanity had a reputation for surviving impossible odds. Tonight, that reputation would be tested, and maybe, just maybe, strengthened. The hall behind him exploded in shouts and alarms, but Alex kept moving. He didn't look back. The ship hovered steadily, responding to his movements as if it trusted him. Step by step, he edged toward freedom. And somewhere deep inside, Alex felt a quiet, thrilling certainty. If humans could survive this night, there was nothing they couldn't face. Alex's heart pounded as he guided the alien ship through the maintenance corridors. The hum it gave off felt almost alive, vibrating in sync with his pulse. The lights along the ship's hull pulsed faster now, like it understood the urgency of their escape. Behind him, the auction hall was in chaos. Security alarms rang, and the shouts of guards echoed down the hallways. Alex had only a few minutes before the entire building's self-destruct safety system was triggered to prevent unauthorized removal of the ship. He glanced at his datapad, Mara's instructions flashing in green. "Keep moving. Don't stop. Sensors are down, but they'll reboot soon." He exhaled sharply, gripping the ship's edges. The anti-gravity modules hummed softly, holding the vessel steady. It was surprisingly light for its size, light but powerful. Alex could feel energy flowing under his hands, like the ship had its own nervous system. "Almost there," he muttered. "Just a little further." A security guard rounded the corner ahead, weapon raised. Alex froze. The guard's eyes widened at the sight of the hovering ship. It seemed to ripple, bending the light around it. The guard stumbled backward, momentarily disoriented. Alex realized the ship was shielding them, somehow reacting to his fear and focus. He seized the chance, pushing forward. Step by step, the ship glided smoothly, responding to his movements as if it were reading his intentions. Alex couldn't believe it. A fully functional alien vessel, reacting to human thought and emotion. Most humans would panic at this moment, but he was calm, calculating, using every ounce of his instinct. Mara's voice came in again, urgent and low. "Alex, the van is 2 corridors over. I've disabled the last of the laser grids. You need to move now." He nodded, even though she couldn't see him. He increased the ship's anti-gravity output, lifting it slightly higher, careful not to trigger ceiling sensors. The corridors twisted, turning like a maze, but Alex had memorized the layout from his initial scan. Then he heard it, footsteps, heavy and fast, pounding behind him. Corporate security forces were closing in, armed with energy disruptors designed to disable machinery. He didn't have time to think. They would reach him in seconds. He pressed a hand against the ship. The hum changed, deeper, almost warning. The lights along its hull flashed patterns he didn't recognize, but he understood the intent: protect. Alex ran. The ship followed, hovering, twisting, ducking under obstacles with him guiding it. At one turn, a heavy maintenance door slid down, blocking their path. Alex cursed. He had no time to manually open it. But then the ship tilted, almost rolling on its axis, and with a quiet swoosh, it slipped through the narrowing gap. Alex's mouth dropped open. "It's helping me," he whispered. The corridors opened into a wider maintenance bay. There, waiting for him, was the transport van. Mara waved from the driver's seat, hands poised on the controls. Alex pushed the ship forward, lifting it slightly to clear the final doorway. Just as he did, a squad of security forces rounded the corner. "Stop!" one shouted. "Halt! Unauthorized removal of alien property." Alex didn't stop. He sprinted, feeling the ship's vibrations matching his own heartbeat. It pulsed brighter, almost as if cheering him on. With one final push, he guided it into the van. Mara hit the accelerator. Tires screeched, van doors slammed shut, and they sped out into the streets of the city, leaving a trail of stunned guards behind. Alex sank into the seat beside the ship, panting. His hands were shaking, but the ship remained steady, its lights soft now, calming him. Mara glanced at him, eyes wide. "You're insane," she said, a mixture of fear and admiration in her voice. "But that was amazing." Alex smiled faintly. "Not me, it's helping." They drove in silence for a moment. Outside, the city was alive, unaware of the alien treasure now hidden in a simple van. But Alex's mind was racing. They were safe for the moment, yes, but the ship was still alien, unpredictable, and worth more than any corporation could imagine. And now, every major corporation and some governments would be hunting them. "What now?" Mara asked finally, breaking the tense quiet. Alex thought for a long moment. "We need a secure location, somewhere no one will think to look and where we can study it carefully." Mara nodded. "I've got a warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Old tech storage, hidden cameras, reinforced walls, it's perfect." They drove in silence, avoiding main roads and security checkpoints. The alien ship hovered quietly in the back of the van, its glow dimming and brightening as if monitoring their surroundings. Alex reached out, touching the hull again. This time the patterns along its surface seemed almost deliberate, flowing like a language. He frowned. Could it understand them? Could it communicate? Once at the warehouse, they quickly unloaded the ship. The building was empty, dusty, and dark, perfect for their purposes. Alex set the ship on a reinforced platform, connecting basic power and environmental controls. It hummed softly, lights pulsing rhythmically. Mara leaned over the edge of the platform. "Do you think it's sentient?" Alex nodded slowly. "I don't know, but it's responding to us. To me, to human intention. That's more than just a machine." Over the next several hours, Alex and Mara began examining it carefully. Standard scanners barely registered the ship's internal systems. Energy flows were unlike anything human technology had created. Materials shifted slightly under touch, almost as if alive. Patterns on the hull changed depending on their approach and gestures. Alex experimented cautiously. He ran his hands over specific ridges and grooves. The hum responded. Lights shifted. Tiny panels opened, revealing controls, but nothing like human interfaces. No buttons, no screens. Instead, it seemed to require thought, focus, and intuition. He realized something extraordinary. Humans might be uniquely qualified to operate it. Unlike alien collectors or corporate robots, humans could improvise, think creatively, and understand intention. In that way, the ship might see humans as compatible. Mara watched him, astonished. "You're saying it's recognizing us, trusting us?" Alex shrugged. "I don't know if it's trust exactly, but it's responding. That's enough for now." Night fell outside, and the city continued its indifferent hum. Inside the warehouse, humans and alien technology existed together, a fragile but powerful bond forming. Alex's mind raced with possibilities: energy generation, propulsion, exploration, and maybe even communication across the stars. Then came a warning. Mara's scanner picked up a pattern outside the warehouse: unmarked ships in the city's airspace, heading their way. Corporate drones, trackers, maybe even government units. They were not alone. The world had noticed the disappearance of the ship and the hunt had begun. Alex didn't panic. He felt something stronger than fear: determination. They had survived the auction. They had saved the ship. Now it was time to protect it, learn from it, and ensure humanity had a chance to prove its worth. He touched the ship again. The light pulsed in response, steady and calm, almost like approval. "All right," he said, turning to Mara. "We have to move fast. Study it, understand it, and prepare for anyone who comes looking. They won't stop." Mara nodded, hands already flying across her controls. "We'll make sure they regret ever trying." Alex smiled faintly. Humanity had a history of survival against impossible odds. They were clever, adaptable, relentless. And now, with this alien ship, they had a tool and a companion that could change everything. Hours passed. Alex mapped the ship's hull, traced energy flows, and began documenting his observations. Each moment revealed new surprises: micro-scale propulsion systems, energy storage far beyond human capacity, adaptive materials that healed scratches or deformations. It was like nothing humans had ever seen. Then, late in the night, something remarkable happened. A series of pulses along the hull formed a clear, repeating pattern. Alex leaned closer. "It's trying to communicate." Mara stared, eyes wide. "Can you understand it?" Alex shook his head. "Not yet. But it's human enough that I think we can." He traced the lines with a fingertip, watching the pulses respond. A faint glow spread across the entire surface, like the ship was acknowledging him. A thrill ran through Alex's chest. The ship had chosen humans. It had reacted to human creativity, emotion, and ingenuity. And now humanity had a chance, a rare, shining chance, to learn, explore, and prove itself in ways no one else could. Outside, the city slept. But inside, in a quiet warehouse lit by alien lights, the future was beginning to unfold. Humanity had saved the ship. And in saving it, Alex realized something profound. Survival wasn't enough. Humans had the potential to rise, to explore, and to achieve what others thought impossible. The alien ship, alive and aware, pulsed in agreement. And somewhere deep inside, Alex knew, the race had only just begun. The warehouse was quiet, but tension hung in the air like electricity. Alex and Mara stared at the alien ship, now glowing softly under the dim lights. Outside, the city remained unaware, but sensors indicated corporate drones and private security forces were combing the area. Their time was short. Alex leaned over the ship, tracing the glowing lines along its hull. The pulses had become regular, almost like a heartbeat. And now, for the first time, it seemed deliberate, a language or at least an attempt at communication. "It's trying to teach us something," Alex said quietly. "Or maybe test us," Mara frowned. "Test us for what?" Alex didn't answer. He ran his hands over a ridge along the side of the ship. The hum shifted, deepened, and for the first time he felt more than energy, he felt understanding. The ship reacted to human intent, curiosity, and thought. It wasn't just a machine. It was alive, intelligent, and capable of choice. "We need to learn its language," Alex said. "Fast." Mara pulled up a console and began analyzing the pulses. "It's complex but not random. Patterns repeat in ways human brains can detect." Hours passed as they worked. They touched, traced, and experimented, slowly discovering how to interact with the ship. Alex realized that unlike alien collectors, humans could improvise. Our creativity, emotion, and problem-solving allowed us to understand it in ways others could not. Then came the first breakthrough. Alex tapped a sequence of lights in a rhythm he thought might correspond to movement commands. The ship responded immediately, hovering and shifting slightly, almost bowing. It was as if it recognized him as a partner. Mara's eyes widened. "It understands us," Alex nodded, heart pounding. We're partners." But there was no time to celebrate. Outside, sensors picked up a small fleet approaching, sleek corporate ships and armored drones all converging on their location. They were coming for the ship. And they would not be stopped easily. Alex's mind raced. Humans had survived impossible odds before, and tonight they would need every ounce of ingenuity. He touched the ship again, feeling the hum intensify. "If we're going to survive, we have to use it. Not just to escape, but to show them what humanity can do." Mara hesitated. "You mean fight?" Alex shook his head. "Not fight, outsmart, adapt. That's what we do best." He guided the ship toward the center of the warehouse, connecting its systems to a few rudimentary controls he could operate. The ship responded instantly, expanding tiny panels to reveal energy nodes. Light spread across the room, reflecting off walls, creating a dazzling array of patterns. When the first drones arrived outside, they expected to see a simple transport van or a hidden warehouse. Instead, they were met with a spectacle of moving light and energy, patterns forming and shifting, impossible physics bending the world around them. Alex guided the ship through a series of complex motions, creating energy fields that disrupted the drone's sensors. Lights bent around the warehouse, making it appear empty from the outside. Drones fired energy pulses that dissipated harmlessly against the alien ship's adaptive shields. Every move Alex made was amplified by the ship, almost as if it anticipated his thoughts. Mara couldn't help but grin. It's incredible. We're unbeatable." Alex smiled faintly, but he didn't let his guard down. This was more than survival. This was a demonstration. Humans had survived against alien empires, cosmic disasters, and technological marvels beyond imagination. Tonight, they would show that human ingenuity, courage, and creativity could still triumph, even when the odds were overwhelming. The drones faltered, unsure how to proceed. The corporate ships fired coordinated volleys, expecting the alien ship to be merely a tool or machine. But Alex and Mara had learned something crucial. The ship was more than a machine. It could think, and it could trust humans in a way no alien or robot could. Alex pressed a sequence of pulses along the hull. The ship responded immediately, forming a protective barrier and then emitting a low, rhythmic pulse. The pulses expanded outward, interacting with the approaching drone's sensors, confusing them, forcing them to scatter. Mara gasped. "It's manipulating them." "Yes," Alex said, voice tight. "It's using its own technology to adapt in real time, and we're guiding it." Hours passed as they tested its capabilities. The ship learned their movements almost instantly. Alex realized it could accelerate, shift through dimensional folds, and create temporary energy cloaks. Humanity had never seen anything like it. And yet, Alex felt a deep, almost spiritual connection. The ship trusted them, and they trusted it. But then came the toughest part. The corporate fleet regrouped, sending in a larger assault. Ships armed with energy disruptors, EMP cannons, and automated drones arrived, determined to claim the ship by force. Alex clenched his jaw. "We can't outrun them forever. We have to outthink them," Mara nodded. "Then let's do it." Together they ran through a series of maneuvers. Alex tapped sequences of light, guiding the ship's energy fields to mimic holographic duplicates of the vessel. Drones fired at these illusions, wasting their attacks. The real ship slipped through unseen. The humans had learned something essential. They could improvise. No alien intelligence, no corporation, no machine could anticipate the unpredictable creativity of humans working together. And the ship was amplifying it, turning thought into action faster than any human mind alone could. Then came the ultimate test. Alex realized the ship could travel, not just in space, but potentially through dimensions. A faint pulse along the hull hinted at a hidden propulsion system. It had never been used. Perhaps it was waiting for the right moment. "We can escape," Alex whispered, "and maybe show them just how far humans can go." Mara stared. "Are you sure?" Alex smiled. "We don't have a choice." He activated the ship's core sequence, carefully tapping the patterns Mara had calculated. The ship hummed, glowing brighter than ever. The air vibrated. Then, with a sudden surge, the warehouse disappeared from the city. In its place remained nothing but an empty street. Alex and Mara stared in awe. They were no longer in the city. The warehouse existed in a strange, quiet void of light and energy, but the ship hovered steadily, responding to their thoughts. "We did it," Mara whispered. "We escaped," Alex nodded, but his eyes were serious. "Not just escaped, we proved something, that humans can survive anything, outthink anything, and create miracles." The ship pulsed again, almost like it was smiling. Alex reached out. "Thank you," he said softly. "You trusted us." Then the ship did something incredible. Panels shifted, forming new patterns that Alex recognized as instructions, blueprints, and knowledge. Alien technology, science, and designs beyond human comprehension were now accessible, not to any one person but to humanity. Mara gasped. "It's sharing with us." "Yes," Alex said. "It recognizes us as worthy." For the first time, Alex felt the enormity of what they had achieved. Humanity was fragile, emotional, reckless. Yet their ingenuity, creativity, and courage had earned them a place alongside alien civilizations. They had survived, adapted, and triumphed, not with weapons, but with intelligence, intuition, and trust. Outside, the city remained oblivious, unaware that a single human had saved an entire alien ship from destruction. And in doing so had opened a doorway to knowledge and power that could propel humanity beyond Earth for generations. Alex turned to Mara. "We need to share this carefully, teach the world, but not too fast. Others will try to take it from us. We have to be ready." Mara nodded. We're ready." The alien ship pulsed one last time, bright and warm, as if acknowledging the partnership. Humanity had won this day, not through force, not through greed but through creativity, courage, and heart. Alex smiled, finally allowing himself to relax. He looked at the glowing vessel, thinking of all the possibilities it represented. Exploration, discovery, communication with civilizations beyond their own, knowledge beyond imagining. And somewhere deep inside, he knew that this was only the beginning. Humans had been underestimated. Once again, the universe would learn that we were capable of miracles. And for Alex, Mara, and the alien ship, the adventure was just beginning. The stars beyond the void twinkled, distant and mysterious. Humanity had taken its first bold step, and nothing would ever be the same again.